I knew something was wrong. In front of me, I saw something. A face that looked like a demonic kind of entity.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope that you're well and safe and looking after yourselves. If you're new here, my name is Emily, and today I am going to be taking a trip down memory lane, and I'm going to be sharing a video that I actually uploaded to a channel that I created many years ago now, well, a few years ago, and I created a channel to talk about motherhood when I first had my kids, and I pretty much didn't talk much about spirituality or my witchcraft practice, although you could kind of see things in and out, because obviously it was something that I was practicing without really talking about it online. And tarot and spirituality and all the stuff that I was actually practicing was happening behind the scenes, and it was that process of actually coming on to YouTube and sharing my journey into motherhood that actually led me to find that there was actually a witchcraft community within YouTube, and that there was a tarot community within YouTube as well. And that's when I actually started to think, oh, I actually really want to share things about my witchcraft and tarot practice. And that's when I decided to create my channel. So this is a video from about 4 or 5 years ago now. So pre-COVID, and my children were a lot younger, and I experienced something that was quite different to everything I'd experienced before in previous years in terms of a spiritual occurrence. And you'll see why when you see the video. So I'm going to take you back a few years and look into sort of the kind of spirit contact I was having at that time and how that kind of changed my understanding of what was happening. And I wanted to share this because it's the time of the season and I don't create content on my old channel anymore. So I do feel this is something that my community here would enjoy, and I'd love to share it with you. So with all that said, I really hope you enjoy.
I am about to share a story that I haven't ever really talked to anyone about before, but I wanted to just throw it out there and see if anyone else had had any experiences like this. This is a story that I'd really like to share, and I really hope that you are able to be respectful, even if it's not for you or something that you resonate with. So, but if it is something you resonate with and that you'd like to see more of and hear more of, then please do stay tuned. I've always had quite strong intuition, and I've always kind of had weird occurrences, you know, a lot of weird occurrences that, you know, people tend to put down to coincidence. And I have always definitely had a connection to the other world. However, I have always been petrified of seeing ghosts. I've had a few encounters and experiences that are very powerful, and some of them are very private, but some of them I really couldn't explain in, you know, a rational way, and this is one of those things. The reason I'm sharing this now is because it was scary. So if you don't like scary things, then I'm not sure why you're watching this, but because something along the lines of what it is to come will be in the title. So you'll already have an idea about what this video is going to be about. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm not even sure how I'm going to say this. So yeah, it was around September time, I think, that this happened to me, and I've never had an experience like this where I felt afraid or frightened. I've only ever had sort of good feeling experiences until this particular occurrence, and I was shocked, in all honesty. So I often, this might be TMI, I drink a lot of water and I go to the loo a lot, especially in the night. And since I've had kids, you know, it's all the time. So at least once a night I will go to the bathroom, and that's just normal for me. So I wake up some point in the middle of the night and take myself to the bathroom. But this particular night I woke up and instantly I knew something was wrong, because straight in front of me I saw something. And before I tell you what it is, I'm going to tell you what I did, because I was scared. I thought, first of all, I was like, it's my eyes. So just woken up from a sleep, it's in the middle of the night, you know, of course, the room is dark. I thought it was my eyes. So I was blinking and then I was rubbing my eyes like furiously. It didn't go away, what I saw. And then it got to the point, I'd been looking at it for, you know, maybe 30 seconds, and my heart going like this, and it was not going away. And I started to slap myself in the face, not, you know, hard, but I was just, you know, trying to sort of wake myself up from whatever I was in, but it didn't go away. So I'll tell you what I saw. If anyone out there thinks they've got an explanation or any wisdom to share, I'm really, really open to hearing about it. So I'd love to hear what you think it is or was. But so what I saw was a face. It was not a human face. It was a face that looked, well, it could have been a human face, but it looked like an entity, like a demonic kind of entity. I could see its skin. I could see its flesh. I still could see through it, but I could see it too. It was like a special effect in a movie, you know, about this far away from me, the face was there. And next to it, it was flanked either side by smaller faces, as if like this face was here and then the two faces were just slightly behind it. And the two faces were similar, you know, looking. They were staring at me. And so obviously, this is terrifying to wake up to see this. I just thought I was nuts. I thought I was going crazy. And so that's why, you know, rubbing my eyes, blinking lots, and then eventually, you know, slapping myself in the face. And these faces did not go away. So then I was like, okay, I knew I was scared, right? I was frightened, but I didn't fear for my life. I was frightened because I didn't know what it was, but I knew they couldn't hurt me. I had an inherent knowing that these entities, whatever they were, they couldn't hurt me. And there was this, it was like a veil. You know how they talk about the veil thinning at this time of year? It was like they were peering through a veil at me. It was like they were looking through one world into another, like this. It was astounding, really. You know, it was really quite an incredible experience. Shocking and scary and spooky, and my heart was like this. I got to the point where they weren't going away, you know, it had been like maybe 40 seconds and they're just still there. And I saw this. It was really in front of me. And as I said, I could see the flesh, the skin, the colour of the skin. Like, it wasn't like flesh coloured, it was kind of more green and grey, but it was there. And obviously it was in the dark, so I couldn't, you know, see all the colours, but it was there, and it was like it was peering at me through another world. And so I was like, okay, I don't think this thing can hurt me. I don't feel fearful for myself. I just feel scared because I don't know what it is and it's staring at me. And even though I knew inherently, for me, I felt that I knew that it wouldn't hurt, or it couldn't hurt me. It wasn't there for my highest and greatest good. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like an archangel or like some ancestor or a spirit guide. You know, it had a malevolent kind of presence to it that I have never seen or felt or experienced before. I was pretty shocked. I was scared, but not like frightened for my life, if that makes sense. So anywho, so I've read quite a lot about spirits and ghosts and, you know, the other worlds and all this kind of stuff. I know what people have been told to do in these situations, and so I decided to ask it to leave, because I have read that if a spirit is there and you tell it to leave, it has to leave. Even if it's there for your good and stuff, if you don't want it there, you tell it to leave, it has to leave. So I said, I demand that you leave now. In my head, I didn't say out loud, I would wake up my husband, but I said that in my head. You know, looking at it in the eyes, the one in the middle, looking at it in the eyes. It didn't go anywhere. Actually, the two beside it, they went. But the one in the middle, nah. He stared me out. I'm definitely of sound mind. I wasn't taking any hallucinogenics. I wasn't drunk. I was just asleep and woke up in the middle of the night to go to the loo. I gave myself enough time to wake up. I was definitely awake, but I asked these spirits or this entity to leave. I demanded it to leave. I asked it nicely, but I said, you must leave now. I think that's what I said in my head. I said, you must leave now. And the two either side, they vanished. But the one in the middle, he stayed and he stared me out. And I was like, oh my God. I pulled out the big guns, what I consider to be the big guns. I personally absolutely love Jesus. And I prayed in his name. Because at first I was thinking along the lines of any spirit who is here who is not for my highest and greatest good must leave. You must leave now, kind of thing. And so the two either side, they left. But this one in the middle, he stayed and he just looked at me, stared me out. So I pulled out the big guns and I said, in Jesus' name, any entity, spirit, demon who is here must leave now. In Jesus' name I pray. And he vanished. So I was shaken up. This lasted about a minute, I think, this whole exchange. Nothing was loud, nothing was spoken, so my husband was still asleep. I just got myself up, I went to the bathroom, rather freaked out, and I was looking around quite nervously. I was scared to see something else, in all honesty. You know, sometimes you think you see things, but it's just a shadow, or it's something hanging up, or, you know, it's just black spots moving around in your, you know, your eyes. But this was not a trick of my eyes, I swear on my life. I know when it's a trick of my eyes, and this was not. So that happened to me recently, and as I said before this happened to me, I had never experienced anything that felt malevolent or negative or, you know, not friendly or loving in any way. Everything I'd experienced in the past has been, you know, calming and nice. It's been nice, but this was not nice. I did a bit more research about how actually, you know, seeing demons is actually really rare, and that you would probably run away screaming if you actually saw a demon. But there are entities, kind of trickster entities, that do play with you and do appear, that do kind of try to play with you, try to test you, see how you react, try to scare you, that kind of thing. So I put it down to that. I still don't know though. So I'm sure some people have some thoughts. I don't think it was a spirit or a ghost. I don't think it was a demon, but you might have a different opinion or idea. Personally, I feel that it was a trickster entity looking at me, or trickster entity plus some friends, you know, some mates in the back watching me, looking at me like through the veil. That's what I think it was, and trying to scare me essentially, and it worked, but I don't think it worked how they would have hoped, because I didn't like run away screaming. I sat there, my heart was going, but I didn't freak out, and I didn't get upset or cry or scream or shout or anything. I just asked it to leave politely. It did not, and then I asked Jesus to help me, and it left. That's it. So I don't know, like, I wasn't even thinking about sharing anything like this, and it was only the other week when I was watching one of Hayley Reese's videos. She shared a story about a girl who experienced visitation from an entity every single year around Halloween, and it was a scary kind of experience every single year it happened to her. So Hayley was recounting the story. She said if anyone has similar stories to share them. So I thought, you know, why not just share it yourself? I've seen other things, I've heard things, but none of them have ever felt like this. So the reason I thought I'd pull it out now was just because it's the right time of year to talk about it, and I thought maybe there might be someone out there who might have an idea of what it was. So if anyone thinks they can shed some light on my creepy experience, I would love to hear from you. So please do write me a comment in the comments box below. Yeah, if you have any thoughts at all about what this might be, if you've had any similar experiences, I would absolutely love to hear from you. I would actually I think it would make me feel a little bit easier to know that other people have had these similar experiences. So if anyone has experienced anything similar, I would love to hear from you. Please do pop me a comment in the comments box below. Share it with any of your friends who have had encounters or spiritual experiences, or who have seen ghosts and had these kinds of things happen, because I'd be really intrigued to hear some of your stories and to get some second, third, fourth opinions. So yeah, please do get in touch with me, and thank you so much for joining me. I actually feel like I've gotten something off my chest, which is really, really nice. So if you did enjoy the video, please do click the like button, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experiences, if you've experienced something similar, if you've ever seen anything, if any of your family or friends have, or if you have any explanations or theories that you think this could be about. I would be so interested to hear from you. And please do feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. While you're doing that, don't forget to click the notification bell, because that's how YouTube lets you know when I've uploaded new videos. Thank you again for joining me. I feel like I've just been able to release a little bit of something that scared me a little bit. So I hope that you have a fantastic Halloween, whatever you're doing. Be safe, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video soon. Bye.